You did everything right, you stayed up late studying, you got the degree, you picked the career your parents said would keep you safe. And for a while it felt like the system was working. But what if the safest choice you ever made is quietly becoming the most dangerous one? From the moment you could understand language, you were given a script. Go to school, get good grades, earn the degree, land the job, build the life. It was a clear, simple, predictable path, and millions of people walked it without asking a single question about where it actually leads. And for decades, that path delivered exactly what it promised. Stability, a house with a yard, a retirement account that grew every year. A sense that if you just kept your head down, followed the rules, and did not rock the boat, everything would turn out fine. Your parents walked it. Their parents walked it. And it worked, because the world was built to reward predictability. In 1970, a high school diploma could buy you a house and a 40-year career at the same company. By 1990, you needed a bachelor's degree to reach the middle class. By 2010, a master's was the new bachelor's. And now in 2026, 4 years of study and $100,000 in debt, none of them guarantee anything. And this is not just a feeling. This is not some pessimistic take on the state of things. The numbers tell a story so clear, so undeniable, that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. A story that nobody inside the system wants you to hear. 42.5%. That is the underemployment rate for recent college graduates as of late 2025. The highest since the pandemic. Nearly half of the people who followed the safe path, who did everything they were told, are now working in jobs that do not even require their degree. And this is not just an American problem. From the United States to the United Kingdom, from Australia to South Korea, graduates everywhere are discovering the same brutal truth. They did what the system asked, studied hard, took on the debt, followed the path, and the system broke its promise. But here is what nobody warned you about. The part they left out of every commencement speech and every career counseling session. This is where the story takes a turn that should make every person still clinging to the safe path deeply uncomfortable. In January 2026, Harvard Business Review published a study with a headline that should have stopped people in their tracks. Companies are not laying workers off because artificial intelligence is doing their jobs better right now. They are laying them off because they believe AI will do those jobs better soon. The layoffs are based on a prediction, not a proven reality. Let that settle for a moment. Your job, the one you chose specifically because it seems stable, is not being evaluated by what you contribute today. It is being evaluated by what a machine might contribute tomorrow. The safe career you selected for its predictability is now being measured against something that does not need a salary, does not take breaks, and never sleeps. And the skills you spent years building? The World Economic Forum reports that the half-life of a professional skill has collapsed, from 10 to 15 years, down to under 5. By 2030, technical skills could expire in as little as 12 to 18 months. The shelf life of your expertise is shrinking every single year. That degree you spent 4 years and $100,000 earning? It is depreciating faster than the car you drove to your graduation ceremony. And unlike the car, nobody is offering you a trade-in program. The system hands you a receipt, wishes you well, and moves on to the next customer. The writer Alvin Toffler saw this coming decades ago when he wrote, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." That was not a metaphor, it was a warning. The World Economic Forum's 2025 Future of Jobs report confirmed it. 39% of all core workplace skills will change by 2030. The entire system is still training people for stability in a world that rewards adaptability. And that gap between what you were taught and what the world now demands is growing wider every single year. Now pay attention to this next part, because this is where the safe path reveals its most dangerous lie, the one that is hiding in plain sight, the one that affects the people who did everything right more than anyone else. 52% of college graduates are underemployed the moment they enter the workforce, not 5 years later, not after an economic downturn, on day one. And here is the part that should haunt every parent giving advice right now. 10 years after graduation, 45% are still stuck in the same position. These are not lazy people. These are people who studied for years, accumulated 6 figures of debt, and walked the exact path they were promised would lead to security. They are not failing. The system that made them the promise is the one that failed. Even the people hiring have started saying it publicly. Elon Musk tweeted that he does not consider going to college to be evidence of exceptional ability. In fact, quite the opposite. When one of the most powerful employers on the planet dismisses the very credential the safe path told you to chase, that should be a signal you cannot ignore. And yet millions of people are still lining up, still taking on the debt, still believing that the piece of paper will protect them. Not because the evidence supports it, but because the alternative, admitting the system lied, is too uncomfortable to face. Between 2019 and 2024, entry-level positions at major technology companies declined by 50%. Half of the doors that the safe path was supposed to open have been welded shut, not by a recession but by automation. And the damage is spreading everywhere. Paralegals face an 80% automation risk. Content writing roles are projected to decline by 50%. Medical coding is already 40% automated. And assembly line employment is forecast to fall from 2.1 million to just 1 million by 2030. The entry points are not just shrinking, they are being erased. But here is the thing nobody tells you when they show you the numbers. This is not a story about despair. This is a story about liberation. About seeing the trap for what it is, a rusted cage with an open door, and finally choosing to walk through it. The World Economic Forum estimates that 59% of the global workforce will need significant reskilling by 2030. That is not a crisis, that is an invitation. An invitation to stop clinging to a path that was never designed for the world you are actually living in. The real skill of this era is not what you know. It is how fast you can learn what you do not know yet. It is the willingness to unlearn what no longer serves you. To let go of the identity you built around your degree, your title, your specialization, and to rebuild from the ground up, again and again. That is the new safety. The Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman once said, "I would rather have questions that cannot be answered than answers that cannot be questioned." That single idea, the courage to question what everyone else accepts, is the only competitive advantage that will never expire. The safe path was never safe. It was just familiar. And familiarity is not safety, it is a sedative. It numbs you into thinking that standing still is the same as being secure. It is not. The only real safety now is motion, the ability to learn, to adapt, to question everything you were taught. Stop following the script. Start writing your own. Reprogram yourself.